Greetings, wonderful humans, king of games, J.W. Alistar, co-host of Hell and Hightails, here. Obviously, I just watched Midnight Occult Cival Servants, episode 1. I kept fucking up the name of the show, so I had to put it on top of my notes so I would actually not mess it up in the video. But yeah, I watched the first episode of it, and here's my thoughts on that. Obviously. It starts off with like a pretty dang generic cityscape opening. I don't really mind that because I like cityscapes anyway. But that's like probably one of the single most common ways to open up any show or movie ever, where it's like, here's us sweeping a camera across the city and the setting that this show takes place in. It's like a obnoxiously common thing, which, I mean, it makes sense sometimes if it's like Psycho-Pass, where the setting is unique and different in some fashion, but this was just some normal-ass city, so it's not really special in any way, and didn't really need a sweeping shot of the city to establish that we're in a normal-ass city, because if you're watching this, you're probably just gonna assume it's a normal-ass city when you already see the protagonist walking through the normal-ass city. So they didn't really need to establish that. But it was also like maybe 10 seconds. So if I wasn't literally watching this with the intention of taking notes on every little thing that happens, I probably never would have even fucking noticed. But, doesn't really matter. Again, 10 seconds, that's just the nitpick, because that's super common. But they make up for it because they reveal the protagonist is the hot dude. So, you know, I can put up with a lot of bullshit as long as hot dudes are involved. Like, I watched, fuck, I can't even remember the name of it. Okay, I can't remember the name of that show, but I also watched, Inu X Boku Secret Service, because there was some hot dudes in it. So, even though a lot of that show was kind of shitty, I still enjoyed it, so I can put up with a lot of shit. There's hot dudes in it. So, it's good to have confirmation of hot dude, but then we get some intros busting in here, and, you know, anime always has long-ass minute-and-a-half intros, and they're usually super rad. And, you know, this, I mean, if we're going by, like, all intros of all shows, this is a good opening, but if we're comparing it to all other anime openings that are, you know, in existence within the realm of anime, then it's kinda mediocre. Like, I didn't like the song a lot. The song was kinda eh. I mean, it might grow on me if I watch more episodes. A lot of anime openings do. There's definitely a lot of openings I remember fondly and get hyped about purely because I remember them and heard them so much watching it. So it's quite possible by like episode 6 I'll be telling you this is the best opening of all time. Who knows? Probably not, but who knows? I like some of the color choices in the opening. They had some shots where it just had like weird color palettes going on that was really enjoyable to look at. Besides that, though, the opening was kinda boring, just a lot of still shots and not really a lot interesting to look at outside the interesting palette choices they had a few times. And after that, it busts back into the show with our hot dude figuring out what the fuck he's doing, and they basically tell him to go to this one place, and it's just like a storage room. I don't know why it's a storage room. We don't really learn why it's just labeled Storage Room 1, but the hot dude opens the storage room, and then the big reveal is it's a storage room of more hot boys. So, pretty dang decent reveal. So, you know, that's getting me through the episode. Hot boy opens storage room to reveal more hot boys. I literally just have more hot boys in all caps written in my notes right here. we meet a first dude. He's a hot boy in a lab coat with a cool outfit, and he's just wearing a collar for some reason, which, I mean, I guess isn't too weird, because I've met some hot dudes and some hot people that wear collars, so it works. I haven't met an ugly person who wears a collar, so I guess it's just a trait of hot people, but regardless, we learn his name's Theo, and he is randomly British for no reason. Like, I don't think that it doesn't really add anything. Maybe it will later. Maybe they're going to have some crazy character arc that makes it important that we have. I mean, later in the episode, they mention that people from all sorts of different places and cultures gather in the city. So I guess he's randomly British just to kind of, help support the idea that there's people from all sorts of different places here. But, it's not like... It's not really adding anything yet, aside from just reconfirming that, hey, people from all over the place are here. There's not really any reason given to make that relevant to the plot either. There might later. Again, this is the first episode. They have a lot of exposition to get out of the way, so they don't really need to get out. They don't need to... It's cool to have things that you don't elaborate on yet in the first episode, so I'm hoping they give some reason to randomly shoehorn, hey, I'm British, by the way, I'm calling you by your first name, aside from it just being a random character trait to throw at you. Like, it's a dating sim where everyone's a two-dimensional character who's, whatever, doesn't matter. Hot dude, lab coat, whatever. Then we got Sasaki. I'm bad at remembering names. I wrote down names in my notes, so that way you'd at least have some idea of who I'm talking about. But Sasuke comes in, hot dude in a suit and glasses. So more hot dudes. So far there's no uggos in the show. And they basically just, in the most forced fashion possible, shoehorn... They shoehorn in the fact that Sasaki is a man whore. In a really forced way. I was trying to say shoehorn and man whore at the same time, and it came out as shoe whore, which maybe he's a shoe whore too. We don't know yet. It's episode 1. But anyway, to the point. Sasaki's a man whore. They make sure you know that. It's apparently really important. I'm guessing at this point in the show that a lot of these characters are going to be pretty two-dimensional characters where there's not a lot of depth going into them besides, like, a couple personality quirks like he man whore, he British guy. So they're trying to just get that out of the way fast. Or maybe it's just awkward dialogue and they actually end up like Evangelion-ass detailed characters. I don't know. First episode. I know nothing about the show. But so far it seems like they're pretty two-dimensional, but that's fine as long as the show's fun. Like, you weren't getting, like, in Lucky Star, you weren't getting, like, Psycho-Pass-level plot points, but it's a fun show, so who cares? But, after that, oh yeah, fucking... when they're walking and they're trying to, and they're talking about the job position, blah, 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 exposition, which they are getting through really fast, which I like, because so far it seems like what the show's going for is it just wants to kind of just be like a fun show about, yokai and shit, which is fine and fun, which, if that's what the show's gonna be, it's probably good they're getting through exposition fast, because you don't want, 5 episodes of exposition if you're just gonna be, kind of just a fun romp of a show. But, Sasaki just is like, hey, you ever hear of yokai, angels, demons, or anything? Have ya? No? Okay. Well, you're gonna. And it was really funny, because it's like, I mean, there's, they're trying to explain to this dude that he's gonna be in a job dealing with some weird occult shit, so there's no other way to really bring that up besides just casually dumping it on him, but it's still kind of funny. And it reminds me of this time, back when I lived in, Shakota, Oklahoma, at school. There was this fucking random girl who's, like, sitting at the other side of the classroom, like, not even near me, and they're just, like, making dead eye contact with me. Super serious. And I can, like, and, you know, they're talking to me, I could still, you know, I could barely hear them, but they're talking loud enough so I can hear them. They're not, like, shouting, but it's very clear what they are saying. And just look at me, dead eye contact. And I'm just sitting here at my desk, by the way, drawing apples. Just drawing apples over and over again. I've drawn like 100 apples on one piece of paper, because I'm a weirdo. And she's looking at me like, hey, do you believe in God? I'm just like, and this is before, you know, I became an atheist. So I'm just like, yeah? And she's like, do you believe in the devil? And I'm just sitting there, I'm just like, okay. I'm just gonna go back to drawing my apples. So this reminded me a lot of that moment, so I thought that was really, really funny. Then, oh yeah, they go show him yokai and spooky occult shit, so that way, you know, they gotta get him to believe in that shit first, so he can do his job, you know. Before they explain, hey, you're dealing with yokai and fairies and shit, they gotta make sure he knows they're real first. It was really weird, because the way they did it is they pulled out a fucking aerosol can and sprayed shit so he could see a fucking fairy, but they explained what was inside the can, but honestly, I think they should just have not said what was in it. They should have just said, oh yeah, it's just a magic spray that lets you see yokai and shit. If they would have said that, that would have been better than what they said, because they're like, it's fucking soil from this temple and ground up ivies and shit turned into a gaseous state in an aerosol can, which doesn't make any fucking sense at all. It's the weirdest fucking thing. So it would have probably been less bullshit sounding if they just didn't explain it. But they made sure to get a hot dude in a lab coat to tell you, so that way you wouldn't question it. And the other dude has glasses and is hot, so he's gotta know what he's talking about. Which was fucking funny. And at first I was confused because they sprayed it in like this one corner to reveal the fucking tsundere pixie fairy. I guess pixies are subcategories of fairies, and some things I've seen they're different things in this, I guess. Because they said it was a fairy, then they said it was a pixie, so I guess it's like subcategory of fairy. And they're also like a tsundere and like flew off, but after that, the dude just sees them everywhere. They're just all of a sudden. So I'm sitting there trying to figure out, okay, why the fuck can this dude just see him everywhere now? Even though they only sprayed this one bush. One of the dudes, I don't remember who it was, it doesn't matter. They say, you could see everyone already. I guess you just have good instincts. That's all they... I mean, my guess is that, like, now that they've used their magic dirt spray in gas form, now that he's seen one and knows it's real, now that just heightened his perception of those existing, now that he knows they're real, I guess, so that just made it so now I can see them all the time. That's my guess. Like, which, you know, that's passable, whatever. Though they might elaborate it more in first episodes, but first episode, that's good enough explanation. Again, it's this, like, really fast-paced, which, you know, if it ends up just being, like, this kind of fun, goofy, you know, romp of a show, that's good and fine. You know, so far I'm happy watching this, that it's quick-paced, because I really didn't want to sit through a long exposition-y episode. Oh, I forgot about this until I looked at my notes, but they were putting up this, they thought there was some turf war going on between Tengu and Angels, so they put this, like, keep out tape like generic crime scene tape. This dude's like, oh, so we're gonna use talismans and stuff to like, keep them out. And they're like, nah, we got some keep out tape. We made it in the lab and it just works. This time they don't try to give it a bullshit explanation because they know it's kind of bullshit. So they're just like, yeah, it works. But I mean, I guess it's kind of believable because a talisman is just like a piece of paper with some writing on it. So, I mean, if that works to keep out spirits and demons and shit, I guess I can believe that keep out tape can. I mean, honestly, and it's a hot dude telling you, so whatever. We had dirt spray that made you see shit. So, I mean, keep out tape being a barrier, I can accept that. I thought it was really funny, though. It made me laugh, so I'm cool with it. I can accept bullshit if bullshit's funny and entertaining. As long as it's fun bullshit, I'm fine with bullshit. There's the Tengu and the Angel, and they're like doing this Romeo and Juliet shit, where it's like, I'm from this species that hates your species, but I love you. But I am also from the species that hates your species, but I love you. Let's elope, but we can't elope because we got responsibilities and shit. My sister, oh no! And, so that's going on, and he's just, like, watching them like a freaking creeper over there. And, then all of a sudden, Angels and Tengu come up, and they're, like, throwing the most bizarre, nonsensical accusations, like, he's trying to trick you into this thing I'm not gonna explain. I don't know what he's tricking you into, but he's tricking you in something. And, you're trying to kidnap my Tengu son. How dare you, you villainous angel. And they're just, like, throwing in the most random-ass accusations just because they hate each other. Like, it's just out of nowhere to say, you! It's like, I mean, I get that their species, like, hates each other, and they have for a long time. But there wasn't even a, hey, what are you two doing together? It was, you're trying to trick them and I know it. You're trying to kidnap him and I know it. There's no segue into them being like, hey, what are you doing? It's just, I know what you're doing and it is this random accusation. It was just so fucking out of nowhere, but it made me laugh. And freaking hot lab coat dude. Theo, there was this scene where he's like on a walkie-talkie, and he's sitting there, and he's like surprised, and he like coughs his lollipop out, and it's just kind of funny, because the way they animated it, it's like it projects out of his mouth, just like shoots out. It's not like a slow line, huh? It just just launches a lollipop out of his fucking mouth, and it looked really, really silly. Then they just have, like, the most fucking rushed Romeo and Juliet story ever crafted. Like, they basically tried to just, I mean, again, like, they rushed it so fast, it's to the point where you don't really care a lot about what's going on, but I don't think we were really supposed to either, because I think this was just trying to get a random, like, they just wanted to get some random story, like, some random adventure involving the Angels and Tengu over really fast, so that way they can have one in the first episode. And, so it was fine. It was just super, super rushed Romeo and Juliet shit. Now at this point, I'm starting to turn a bit from, okay, maybe they should have take another episode, because I don't give a fuck about any of the stuff that's going on now. Like, I'm laughing at it, but I really don't care about any outcomes in this. So I was starting to lose interest, but they kind of saved it a bit, because then Miyako, it took me this long to even learn what his name was, Miyako, the main dude, he just, apparently no one else can understand any of the not human things. They call them anothers, by the way. They call them anothers. But no one can understand the language of the anothers except the main dude, Miyako, who just hears it in his own language for reasons we don't know yet. Which, at first I thought was a little weird, but it kind of saved the episode, because there wasn't a lot that was keeping me intrigued in the show up until that point. And The fact that, like, he's the only person that can interpret this shit, and we see his colleagues, they just straight up assume that they're fucking trying to attack him when they're just, like, apologizing. So him being an interpreter and the only one that understands him is vastly more interesting than if it's just like, yeah, just everyone can hear him. If they would have just ended the episode with them solving the angel shit, I probably wouldn't be very interested in the next episode, but the interpreter thing makes it a little more interesting, and will carry me over, hopefully, until we get to more actual interesting stories, besides just, you know, here's a thing to happen because, you know, it's like throwing in, like, an easy fight at the beginning of a shonen anime. We just need a random thing to get out of the way to, like, introduce you to the concept of the thing. So, you know, it's resolved, you know, basically both sides are, like, kinda weirded out, but not too upset when they learn that the Tengu and Angel actually want to be together, and they learn that they were just hiding their romance because they're scared of how the others would react, and they're just like, oh, I mean, I'm not really okay with that, but whatevs, we'll talk about it later. So they fly away. When the angels were flying away, in Tengu, we had, like, this weird CGI animation for them flying away that looked super fucking out of the place. Super out of the place. Super out of place. Which is funny. Like, I'm kinda oblivious, so, like, a lot of times I don't notice. Like, it would be easy for me to not notice when they switched to CGI shit and randomly in a show, and it'd be easy for me to overlook bad animation in a show just because I'm kind of oblivious, but it was so fucking glaring when in the last scene when the angels were flying away, so I was, like, laughing at it. And I don't think it was supposed to be funny or glaring, it was weird looking. But, basically, yeah. Fucking Tengu comes up, starts calling, fucking Miyako, different name, and is happy to see that he can still understand, different languages. Miyako's just like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, who that is, but I got a headache now. And, you know, it's kinda implying that there's a bunch of stuff up with this dude that we're gonna learn throughout the series, which I'm kinda interested in. I'm interested to learn more about this hot dude and his weird romps with these other hot dudes. So hopefully the other episodes have more interesting stories going on. But I'm intrigued. I want to watch the next episode, see what happens. So that's cool. Then we get the ending. Instead of the episode, we get the ending. I like the song a little bit better than the song in the opening, but the actual ending art itself is just like some random fucking stills and credits and shit, so it's whatever. I still don't think it's, like, amazing in terms of songs. It was super okay, but I liked it a little bit better. But, again, maybe I'll like it more once I hear it 12 fucking times. It's happened before. There's some pretty iffy songs from anime I like a lot just because I heard it 100 times 5 years ago, and now it's like a nostalgic thing, so maybe that will happen with this. I doubt it, but maybe. But yeah, it's my thoughts on episode 1. I'll be giving you my thoughts on episode 2 very soon.
Bye-bye!
Thank you, wonderful humans, for watching this video. If you could please subscribe to this channel, like this video, leave a comment telling me how wonderful I am. Follow me on Twitter at FlashyJWEvans, and as always, this has been Hell and High Tales, and I am one of your lovely co-hosts, King of Games Champion, JW Alistar, telling you to have a dandy day.